So, hey everybody.
How's it going?
Yeah, it's going good. How you doing, Stan?
I am doing good. Well, of course, I'm doing great. We're here talking about fishing and catfishing, and so what could be better?
That's exactly right. I finally got my sticker board together. So I finally got that started and going after getting to go to Catcon and getting all a bunch of stickers that way. So real excited about that.
That is awesome. It's looking good. I like how you got that labeled Catfish Family up there.
Absolutely. That's what it is. That's what it
And
is.
and guess what? I already
What's
got the notification that you're live. So that's working a lot better than it was last week. So that's good.
And there we go. There we go. Well, now I know. Now I know how to go in and create a folder so that way it'll show up on my page. I didn't realize that. I'm still a newbie, so sorry, guys. Hopefully, it'll pop up and it'll be better every week. But we just have to go how we go. But you want to say hey to everybody that came in?
Sure, we are up to, if that gets out of the way, there we go. We got at least 10 people watching already. Got a bunch of names out there. Hey, there's Catfish with Kaz. She's in the house with us tonight.
Woohoo!
351 downtown. Ernie Brown. How's it going, Ernie? Great to see you. Boom, boom, boom. Chris Everett, how are you? Bobcat Outdoors. Big shout out to Bobcat.
Absolutely.
Boy, everybody, they're totally doing some talking out there in chat. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. There's the coolest guy in fishing, Lance McCool guy, the Hawaiian fisherman. And boom, boom, boom. Creole, there's my broadcast brother, Creole Catfishing's out there. Dale Hayslip, Dave G. And fishing.
I see Mike Sampson's popped in.
There we go. Whisker Dreams. And Fields to Water. Chad, how are you? There's Michelle. It's all mine. Hello, hello. Indiana Chris. And they still coming in. You up to 19 now.
Woohoo! Good. Thank you,
Tanya's
everybody.
out there. Hello, hello.
Mm-hmm. It's great to see everybody tonight. Thank you guys for coming in and spending some time with us. Appreciate you so very much. I was telling Stan in the beginning, I got my sticker board up here. So we've got a Catfish family represented. And I've got a couple of special ones I got to point out. One of them is this one right here, and you can barely see it. It's just a small one, but that was actually on my Ooey Gooey bars from LG Bass. That's an It's All Mine sticker. So I have one of her stickers on my board. And I also bought some lights from Epic, and it came with a card inserted in the package. So I cut that out and I put it up there since he doesn't have a sticker. So I've got Epic represented up there as well. There's Pontoon Jody, my catfishing sister forever. Hey, Tanya Hollis. Glad you guys came in.
Up to 23 awesome people watching. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all for coming in. That is awesome.
That's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Well, tonight we are going to talk about some basic knots. Whenever you first start fishing, you need to know a couple. You don't need to learn a lot to begin with. You can definitely learn as you go, but there are a couple that will make it a lot easier and will save you from losing fish and hooks. And especially if we've got a kid fishing, we don't want that heartache of that hook coming untied and then not getting that fish in. Hey, fishing chick, welcome in.
Fishing chick, how are you?
Yeah.
And, in my opinion, learning how to tie a proper knot is one of the most important things that a beginning angler can do because, line is strong. As long as you check it and there's no nicks, your line's going to be okay. Your rod's going to be good. The reel's going to be good. The part that when you start tying hooks and swivels and stuff in between, the thing that's connecting that nice strong line is that swivel or that hook and your knot. So if you don't tie that knot correctly and it adds some friction in there, it'll add a weak point onto the line. And 9 times out of 10, that big fish is lost because the knot broke.
That's
And
right.
so knots are really, really important.
They really are. And, you don't have to learn but just a couple. We're actually just going to present 3 tonight. We're not going to make it hard or difficult, but that way you've got an option, of which one that you would like to start with and go from there. And actually, you brought up a really good point, and we didn't mention that at all last week. We're going to talk more in a future show about how many pound test line and what that is and all of that. But checking your line, running your hand down your line and checking it and seeing if it does have nicks in it, that's a major thing. We definitely want to get in the habit of doing that. I know I'm guilty of sometimes not checking mine, and I've lost fish because of it. So, that's definitely something that we need to discuss further and make sure, because it takes 2 seconds and it may be the difference between catching the fish and not.
That's right. And y'all hear me laughing, and I'm sure that almost every single person out there, and I'll say it all the time, check this and check that. And sure enough, when it goes wrong is that one time you didn't check it. And I know everybody out there has had the same situation come up. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're definitely going to talk about that soon, because that's something that needs to be, talked about here in the beginning, because I know whenever you go to the store, there's 400 different types of line. There's fluoro, mono, braid, all different kinds, all different pound tests. And we definitely need to go over what that means and exactly what that means with the fish that you're catching and how you need to adjust that. Hey, Annette Morgan, welcome in. There's Mike Greenwell, welcome. So
what's
glad
up,
you guys
everybody?
came in. And here in a little while, after we go over our knots, when we went to Catcon, I took an opportunity to try to do a few little interviews. I did a couple with kids. They're not anyone's YouTube kids, but these are just kids that were walking around. I just walked up to them, asked their parents if I could speak with them. So they're just little clips, just little short things. And then we've got interviews with Bobcat Outdoors Daughter. We've got one with Fishin Chick, and we've also got one with Katie Collins. And so we'll definitely get into that and show it. It's my first time editing anything, so it's going to be rough, but you know what? It's going to be as good as I could do today. So that's how we're going to run that. It's just going to be what it is.
All of us have been there and started somewhere, so.
That's right. Hey, Nina, welcome in. There's Carmel Muncie, Rod Knockers. Thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate it. David Smith. All right. So, yeah, we call her Catfish Carl. Okay. So, Catfish Carl from now on. I love that. She's awesome, too. And wait till you hear what her PB is. You are going to be shocked. It is amazing. It is amazing. One of these days, I hope to be just like her. It's amazing. So, well, the first thing we're kind of going to start out with is hooks. We got to learn how to tie the knots, and we'll go over hook size and as we go up through the different species of fish. But I just kind of wanted just to show that you can have hooks that big starting out. We also use little jigs these hooks are really small. And because the fish that we're trying to catch on them are really small. And then we have a bait holder hook. Let's see. I got to get my camera. There we go. There we go. And this is just a bigger one that it's a little bit easier to see.
Guys, if you want to put it on solo screen, that might help.
Yeah. Okay. Give me just a minute here. Let's see. Okay.
There you go. Good job.
All right. And then I'm going to show you on this big whopper of a hook just because it's easier to see. The eye is rather large and it's real easy for me to show. I tried to find a sinker that was big enough for my paracord so it would be a little bit easier, but we're just going to go with this. So the knot that I want to teach is one of the strongest knots that there are, and it's called a polymer knot. I use it for everything I can, me personally. It's very easy, and there's not a lot of twisting and a lot of Creole. There's not a lot of twisting and all of that. It's a simple starting great knot, and it doesn't matter if you're new to fishing or if you've been fishing for 20 something years. It's still a fantastic knot. So on this knot, a lot of the times when you're using the small hooks, your eye is going to be very, very, very small. Let's see. I don't know. You can't even really see it. It's so small. But we're talking about really small, thin line. So a lot of the times when I am putting on a bait hook, what I will do is I will go through. Let's see. Let me see which way is going to be best here. Okay. So I will go through the eye of the hook and I will pull it out so far. And then it's easier for me to go back through and pull that down. And the reason why is those eyes are so small on those hooks that it's hard for you to double the line over and slip them through those very small hooks. So if you have a line and you don't have any trouble doing it, I'm 50 and I have a hard time seeing. So there's that. But you can just, fold the line over so that way you've got it doubled and just slide it through the hook eye. And you want to give yourself enough room to where you can loop this around whatever hook you have. So for a smaller hook, you would leave that much or so. And for a bigger hook, you want to leave more. And basically all this knot is you tie a basic granny knot over and through, just like that. Let me see. There we go. And you tighten that down a little bit. And then what you're going to do is the loop that's over here, right here, you're going to put it around your hook. So it's going to be down here now. And you're just going to pull. Now, whenever you're pulling knots tight, you can lick them. You can do it with your finger. You can do it however. But you're going to need to wet the knot so it slides in. And then you're just going to pull it tight. And that's it. That is the knot. It's very simple. Very, very simple. And it is strong. And that is all there is to it. That's it. So let me cut this off. And we'll do it once more. I'm using braid just because it's bigger and it's easier for me to show you. Hey, down east.
Cause I will be right back.
Okay. So once again, double your line over. And if you can't get it through, then that's okay. Put it through one side and loop it back in. So we're going to do this. Pull that extra out. And we're going to cross it over and run it through just like you're tying a pair of shoes. And then pull that down a little bit. And then we're going to loop it around the hook. So loop it around the hook. You can hold your hook. You're going to wet the line and pull. And if one side doesn't pull, you just pull on the other string until it tightens itself down. And that is it. It is a very simple, very strong knot. And I use it catching huge fish. I use it catching small fish. And it works for both fantastic. But it is just as simple as that. And you do need to know a couple of other knots to start, but being that we're starting with panfish, then really starting out, that is your main knot, because you're not tying knots around swivels and other things. You're basically just tying your hook onto your line. That is a perfect knot. So just remember tying it like the first of your shoe and looping it around and pulling it tight. If you mess up, just do it again. It's not frustrating. Like I said, there's not a bunch of wraps, but it will work, and it will work well. Hey, Tom, welcome in. Team Snag and Whiskers, welcome in, everybody. And so for panfish, brim, bluegill, whatever you want to call them, there are many different hooks that you can use. Let's see. So there's jigs that you can put a tail on, and here is a black one as well. So little. And there's many different other ones, and we're going to go over hooks and all of that in detail as well. But what we're doing is we are working up to sunfish, bluegills. So, yeah, me too, Fishing Chick. It's great. It's a good one, and it's strong. It's a really strong knot. Yeah, so give me just a minute. Let me get that stand back up here whenever he's ready. And hey, Century. Okay. And but it's a really great knot. If anybody, if you have trouble or you need somebody to show you again, send me a message. I'll be more than happy to do it. We can, go live, or we can not go live, but we can jump on Messenger and I can show you. Oh, hey, Mike Turner. I'm so glad you came in. Thank you. I'm glad to see you, man. But so what knots have you got today, Mr. Stan?
All right. Well, you did the polymer knot first, right?
Mm-hmm, I did.
Okay, so
Let me see.
I will do, since the polymer knot, it's used when you're putting on a hook or something like that. Now, if it's if you already have that swivel tied on, it's hard to use the polymer knot. So another good knot is a clinch knot, and there's a bunch of variations on the regular clinch knot. I'll show you just a couple of them. There's the clinch knot, there's an improved clinch, and then there's one of the knots that I've used forever is a trilene knot, which is a really good knot, really simple. But a basic clinch knot, I'm just going to use that as the eye. Basic clinch knot is you go through the eye, you make a loop like that, you twist it. Mono here, so it's a little stiff. But you see how there's the twist there? You twist it about 4 or 5 times, and you got a loop right there. You got a loop right there, so you stick that in. You wet the line. and you just pull it down tight. And that's your basic simple clinch knot. And that's used for, like I said, like tying on swivels, jigs, things like that. That's a great knot. You saw how simple that was. But you see how the tag end is coming out perpendicular? It's coming out straight against. That's how you know. And the wraps are, you can see you can almost see it. You can see how the wraps are really tight. That's how you know that you. So whenever you're using mono, you saw, you can either just wet it with your lips, or some people have a little bowl of water and they just dunk it in the bowl of water. That provides lubrication on the mono, and it also keeps it cool. So when you're sliding it down, it doesn't heat that line up and cause a weak spot. But that's a regular clinch knot. Very, very simple. We'll do it one more time.
And so when you go through the eye of the hook on that one, is it going through one time, or is it going doubled as like the polymer knot?
It's just going through one time on a regular simple clinch knot.
Okay.
You just go through one time.
Mm-hmm.
You make the loop like that, and then you just twist 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got the tag end of the line there, and then you got the loop coming out of the eye.
Right.
Then you stick it back through. With the line, and just pull it tight.
All right. I think I did it. I think I'm good. It's coming out. My line's got braid so it doesn't stick up, but it's coming up there.
And
perfect. All right.
And that's a real simple knot. It's a strong knot. Polymer knot is one of the strongest, but the clinch knot is a monofilament. Is a good knot for monofilament. It does not work as good on braid because braid has a tendency to slip. So I like to use the clinch knot with if I'm using mono line. Now a variation of that works good with mono, fluorocarbon, braid, and the polymer knot that you showed works great when you can put everything back through that loop. But if that sinker is already tied to your line, you're not able to do another polymer knot on the other end of that swivel.
Right.
So that's why you've got to learn one other knot, the polymer, and you got to learn one other one, a clinch knot, trilene, one of these type of knots. Now the trilene knot, there's the eye. We use the eye of the hook or the eye of the swivel. You go in, just like we were starting the last one, except you go back through the eye. You go back through it the same way. So you go in from the front, around, and then back in from the front. So you create a situation like this, where you've got the eye of the hook. This is going up to your main line. You've created that loop right there.
Okay.
And then you've got the tag end going here. So now it's the same as before. You put this up together. You twist it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you got the tag end is still up here. Here's the eye of the hook, and now instead of just having that one loop, you've actually got two right here. There's 2 loops, so you just bring that back through, wet it, and same thing, cinch it down, Now this one, since it goes through twice, it's going to be a little bit stronger. The lines are still coiled up. Line is still coiled up nicely. You still get your tag in coming out like that. But because it went through twice, this one, you're able to use it better with braid, because with the line going through twice and then being wrapped back around, it will not slip as easy as just the regular clinch knot.
Perfect. Will you go over that one more time? Because that one had a lot of twist and a different loop, and those are kind of those kind of get a little hard. So I'm going to do it with you this time.
All right. No turtle, no turtle knot today down east. We're just trying to keep it pretty simple, But you've got your swivel, or the eye of your hook, or the eye of a crankbait, whatever you want to use there. So you go through, and you got just like we were going to do the regular clinch knot, except that now you take this in and go back through again from the front, and now you've got a loop like that. You got a circle.
Okay.
Got it. There's the eye of the hook. There's a circle. Here's the tag in. Now it's the same thing as before. You twist it about 4 times, and you take the tag in, and you go back through the circle and that loop with the line, and cinch it down.
Cinch it down.
Now this one does take a little bit more. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit, since it's got that extra loop in there. Like the polymer knot, it now has a double line around the eye of the hook. And you can make this one tighter by pulling on the tag in. Don't use your teeth like I'm doing, but use the pull on the tag in, and you can kind of slide that cinch down. And there you go.
Rod Knockers was asking, clockwise or counterclockwise?
I don't rightly think that matters.
You can do it. Hey, Chunky, welcome in, guys.
And he says that's the best knot in the world. That's the only ones that he used. Yeah, I've used that for years. That was the knot that, like, my father showed me, and it's called the trilene knot, but there's other names for it. And you know, the biggest thing you can do is practice that. Take some other pieces of line. Anytime you want to try a new knot, just sit there and you find the video that you want to that shows how to do it right, and just sit there and keep practicing it and tie it. And your knots, when you have a knot that comes out right, all the knots should look nice and neat like that. Like I said, when you're using mono, the tag in will stick straight out to the side, and you can see that it's a good knot. If you don't think that you tied a good knot, if you think that you made a mistake, it doesn't look right, it's not pulled down all the way, just snip it off and do it again. And that's why a lot of people that fish for a long time, that knot did hold the sturgeon. Because that's what I use. I really myself don't use the polymer knot. I almost always exclusively use this knot, the trilene knot, and snell knots, snell knot for the hook. Down east, no, I've never used the turtle knot to my knowledge, to the best of my knowledge, but I like that one. And you saw Elston said that's the knot that he uses all the time. But that's a great knot, and you can use that with braid, mono, and fluorocarbon, and it still does a pretty good job.
Absolutely. It's a very good knot. And like you said, whenever, you know, we're kind of addressing starting at the beginning right now, and it's going to continue to go. But, you know, what we're just trying to do is to give some people that, you know, have never tied knots, have never really fished, just a basis of where to start. And as we advance, we'll definitely be going over other knots. We will definitely, you got to go, Tim Molina. Well, you have a great night. Thanks for coming in. But, you know, we're definitely going to learn more advanced knots and other things as we go. But we're just, you know, starting with the basics. If someone, you know, just needs to know how to put a hook on the line and put a worm on it and go and try to catch a little fish, then that's where we're starting. He is down east. I agree. He's a fantastic co-host. I'm going to keep him as long as I can.
I appreciate that, down east. Down east, we've all seen down east tackle. We've seen the rigs that he puts out, so that's a huge compliment coming from him. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Maybe when we get up to, you know, when we start getting up to bigger fish and all of that, maybe we can talk him into popping on and showing a few of his knots, because he does tie some amazing rigs. And
Creo brings up a great point, and it's just like with the different rigs. There's only a couple of basic rigs, and then there's hundreds and hundreds of variations. Same thing with the knots. There's a couple of basic knots. You know, I showed the clinch knot and then the trilene knot, which is basically just a modified clinch knot. There's an improved clinch knot, which is basically the same thing as the clinch knot, but instead of just going through, you come back through, and it puts just another little extra bend in it, so it makes it slip a little less. And that's why they called it the improved clinch knot. But yeah, there's a couple of basic knots, and then there's variations, hundreds of variations. Find the ones that you like best and that you can tie the best. And if you have confidence in your knot, that knot is what's going to work best for you.
That's exactly right. And you know, like exactly like Creo pointed out, there's many variations. And you know, that's confusing to new anglers, because if you've got, say, a mom that's never taken her kids fishing before, and she's looking online and there's 400 different knots, and oh my goodness, where in the world do I start? And she tries 3 of them and she can't get the line twisted, she can't figure it out, then that causes frustration and may stop someone from taking those kids fishing. And that's what we're trying to do, is to, you know, just give something that is the very basics right now, just so we can get out there and start fishing. And, you know, try our best not to lose the fish that we catch. So, I see Daryl popped in. Thanks for popping in, Daryl.
Okay.
And to my knowledge, it's mainly for fly fishing. Oh, so a turtle knot is mainly for fly fishing, Lance McCougar says. So
I believe that turtle knot is a way to tie together 2 different pieces of line. I believe.
Oh, got you.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, and we'll definitely, once we get up to catfish and we're trying, you know, we start talking about braid and how we're gonna. Down East says no. We're gonna start, you know, connecting braid to mono or whatever. Then we'll definitely learn those, you know, different knots that we can connect them with. So Down East said that his knots were crimps.
Yeah, I know. That's right.
Love it. But yeah, and I mean, you know, you can, like I said, sometimes
fly line, yeah.
Yeah. And rod knockers, yeah, basic knots are the foundation. That's where we're starting. That's what we're trying to build, as a foundation.
Thank you, rod knockers.
Absolutely. She'll try. So it's Tanya says that she's still trying to learn different knots. Yeah, she has to stop him so she can learn, and that's what happens sometimes. I mean, look, us, you know, we go out with a more experienced fisherman, or someone that, you know, is been fishing their whole life, and maybe you haven't, and we tend to let them do the things that we don't know how to do, and then we start depending on them, and when it comes to going by ourselves, we don't know how to do it. So we've got to start out with something that's basic, that we can do ourselves.
That's right. And that Down East, yeah, I sure can. Just if you drop your email there, I think we've tried doing it before, and I must have missed it, but I'll take a screenshot of it. This way I'll have it, and I can email you later. But yes, the Tanya and whoever else just came in, the 2 knots that we showed are really, really simple, easy knots. Anybody can do them, and if you practice it just a few times, you'll have a great, great knot.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I completely agree. But, you know, those are 3 to get you started, and don't let, you know, anybody that's looking, don't let the different names and don't let all the information confuse you. You can look up, you know, Polymer Knot. You can look up, you know, the trilene knot, and it'll pull up videos for those ones, and you'll see variations, and that's okay. You do what's easiest for you.
If you want to do one more simple one, we can do one more simple one. You know how a lot of people will buy instead of just getting the hooks and tying their own hooks with the leaders on it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll buy the hooks with the leader on it, and you get 5 of them for like an outrageous amount where you can get and do it yourself. It's just a simple. Now, is this the best Snell knot? No. However, we've used this one here, and we haven't had issues with it. And I'll show you real simple, so you can make your own, just like you would buy the Eagle Claw with the leader already on it and the loop up top. It's the no knot Snell. It's really, really simple. You got the eye, you got the hook. So with the circle hooks especially, see it's pointing back at the eye. So when you say the front of a hook, the front of the hook is coming. This is the front of the hook. And the back of the hook is away from the point over here on this side. That's the back of the hook. So that's important on some of these knots because it makes it actually work the right way or not work the right way if you go from the wrong side. So with the no knot Snell, it's really simple. You go through the eye from the front, if you can see it, and you're not old like I am. But you just bring it down. You go through the front. Sorry. And you bring it down to about the bottom of the bend of the hook like that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're through the front of the hook, through the front of the eye. Then it's just a matter of wrapping it around. You keep it tight. You keep it semi-tight, but you see how the threads are. I don't know if you can see it exact, but the threads are right there. You go down about, this is an 8/0 hook, so I go down about 8 times. And then all you do is you go, trying to keep it tight here, so you go, we've wrapped it down the shank of the hook. Mm-hmm. Now you take the other tag in here. We went through the front to start it. Now we're going to go through the back to finish it. And you just pull that up. Keep a hold of that. You pull it down tight. And there you go. It's snelled. Now the reason that can everybody see that? I hope it's snelled. That's a basic no knot snell. And any snell knot, you want that line. See how when we finished it, we went through the back. Now that line is over top of the eye of the hook like that. So that's what that action is what twists that circle hook into the corner of his mouth. If you had it from the back side, when you pulled on the line, you see what happens? It actually pulls the hook out of the fish's mouth. When you're pulling on it, so it would be pushing from back here, and it actually pops. So if you're new at snelling like that, double check and make sure that it's going through the back, out through the front, and when you pull on your line, it'll pull the hook that way. That's very, very important with a snell. That's the whole point of that's the whole point of circle hooks, and snelling it was very, very important for that. And to make it like a like the hooks that you would buy, like a pack of Eagle Claw hooks that you would buy that already have the leader.
Mm-hmm.
You just take the rest of this up here. You go up here however long you want it to be. I'm going to shorten it for these purposes, but you know, that's about the size length that they have in the store. Mm-hmm. You make a loop like that. You wrap it around your finger. So now you've made this other loop right there. You run that through. It's a surgeon's loop. Once, twice. Pull it tight. There you go. There's like the Eagle Claw hooks that you would buy with already leadered line. Now you can do it yourself. Save yourself a ton of money. And then all you do is if you got your sinker, your swivel. If you do it like that, you got your swivel up here. You either just you push the loop through. So if it's not a snap swivel, this is a way to change your hooks out real quick. And then you just boom, pull it tight. So there's on the swivel, and now it's already on your line. Or if it's, you know, snap swivel, you just snap it through the loop. Mm-hmm. Same thing. There you go.
And there you go. And do you pretty much do you only snell hooks that are the circle hooks, or do you have other hooks?
First of all, Kaz, you got 46 awesome people out there. There's Woody out there. How's it going? Annette Morgan, Palmetto Cats, Downey's Tackle, Avid Fisherman, Pontoon Jody, Big Skip Fishing, David Smith, and I'm sure we missed a bunch. Thank you. We appreciate everybody coming in. The circle hooks, for them to work properly, need to be snelled. Mm-hmm. Period. As far as I'm concerned, that's the whole point of the circle hook, and it's designed for the line to be tied around the shank of the hook, and then the leverage is put on the eye of the hook, which is what drives that circle hook home. And as far as the other ones go, bait holders, you can snell any hook. It's a real simple, easy way to do it, and it works for all of them. It basically is the way to keep the line parallel with the shank of the hook. That's one of the points of doing the snell like that.
Perfect. Yes, because I've definitely seen those Eagle Claws in all different sizes, but I just wanted to make sure that we set it for chat. So that way, you know, because we do it as cat fishermen. I mean, I snell all my hooks, but you know, whenever you're dealing with like the little bait holder hooks and different things, you can still snell those. So they can still be snelled. And it works well. So just know it doesn't matter if you've got great big hooks or if you've got other hooks, you can still snell those hooks.
And Tanya brought up a great point with that loop. Same thing, you make that loop, especially if you're using like a three-way rig, but you make that loop, you pull it tight. Now that's a way to attach your sinkers on and off. You can change your sinkers out. You don't have to use another swivel. That's a great way to change your sinkers. Mm-hmm. Sinkers out. Like this is a three-way rig right here. There's a three-way swivel. Mm-hmm. So your main line, which goes to your rod and to your reel, gets tied on there. This is the first part of the swivel, which you put a line on. And then I got the loop on there, like Tanya said, and I put my sinker on there. And then here's the back side of the swivel, which is parallel with the line that's going to your main line, going to your pole. And that's on there and goes down to the hook. But that's a basic three-way rig, and that works great for that.
Absolutely. And we'll definitely get into swivels and when we use them and what's the, when, all of that. What are the purposes of those and one of our very upcoming shows. But we'll definitely get into that. But those are some great knots, Stan. Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
I think, sometimes we watch videos and sometimes it's, it gets confusing and we're just trying to take any confusion out of it. And like I said, anytime anybody, if you have trouble with a knot, I'm always available. I'll be more than happy to help you.
Yep.
And we'll work through it and get it to where you can do it. So that's what the show's about.
That's right. And for anybody just getting going with it, take the simplest knots, the polymer knot, that clinch knot that we showed, and just practice it. Practice it until you get it down where it looks perfect every time. And a lot of us that go catfishing or do the other things, we sit at home and tie the rigs up so they're already pre-tied. So we're not out there. You just had a monster fish on and it broke you off, and now you got to try to retie a rig, and it'll drive you nuts. So
retying rigs, so you can definitely pre-make a bunch of rigs, and that's a good idea when you're fishing with kids because they're going to break off. It's going to happen, and if you've already got some rigs tied that you can just loop another one on, it sure does make it more fun for the kids and less frustrating for us. As the people that are having to tie those knots, depending upon how old the kids are. So, if they're old enough, we definitely want them to learn how to do it themselves. So, you can always start to teach a child how to tie a knot, but instead of using a hook, you can use a sinker. That way they don't get hooked, they don't get hurt, and that way they can practice and do it with you. So don't just, make it about you. Start teaching the kids. You'll be surprised how early they can learn stuff like that, and they're quick. Kids are so quick. So
yep. As they get going, they'll get a little tackle box, get their own little swivels and stuff, and they'll have their own little rig tying kit, and they love it. And I think this is awesome. This is what's great about it. There's a lot of people out there that could teach me how to tie knots and whatnot, but they're out there in chat. They're helping out. They're throwing out great advice. Bobcat just said that he just started doing the rigs, pre-tying the rigs, and catfish and crappie was throwing some things in there. So everybody's throwing out some great extra tips. So that is helpful out there. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming in, Mark. It's great to see everybody. But I've got a little something special. When we went to Catcon, I decided that I was going to try to interview some people. Now, you have to understand, these are my very first interviews I've ever done. And I was walking up. I kind of felt kind of strange there a little bit because I was walking up to people with kids, and I kind of felt like I was being a little creepy, but I wasn't. I was trying to go up, and I explained to the parents, of course, what I was doing and asked if I could interview, and a couple of them let me. And like I was saying at the beginning of the show, we have 3 of our YouTube family that I interviewed. So I definitely want to show that. Knotless knots are the easiest knot for tying hooks, Trophy Sticker says, for fat fingers like me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's see if we can get this to show. So, and it kind of goes fast, and there's, not a lot of transition, but hey, like I said, I'm new. It's the only thing I've ever edited, so we're going to give it a shot here. Let's see if we can get it to come up here.
That's okay, Kaz. It took me almost a year to learn what a transition was, so you're ahead of me.
I love it. All right, let's see here.
There, what is your name?
Caroline Brett.
Caroline Britt. And who is your dad?
Bobcat.
Bobcat Outdoors. All right. And how long you been fishing?
Ever since I I was little.
So what was your first fish? What did you start catching?
Crappie fish.
Crappie. So you used to do a lot of crappie fishing?
Yes, ma'am.
It's really fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how long you been fishing for catfish?
Just here in like the recent years, as soon as Dad started catfishing, I would just go with him. So it's only been a couple years.
Nice. So what is your PB?
Personal best, 80 pounds.
And what kind of catfish was that?
It's a blue cat.
A blue cat that is 80 pounds. Did you guys hear that? 80 pounds. So what was that like pulling in an 80-pounder?
It was definitely an experience. It took me a while to get it in with a little help from Dad, but it was tough, but it was all worth it.
Right. And so did that spark your love of catching big fish?
I think that sparked Dad's love too.
Right. So now you all are monster hunting.
Yes, ma'am.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and introduce yourself for me.
Hi, I'm Lisa from Fishin Chick.
Miss Fishin Chick. And how long you been fishing?
Well, I've been fishing all my life, but just recently, the last couple of years, I've been fishing with catfish.
And what's your PB?
Very small, 8 pounds.
8 pounds is 8 pounds. My biggest flathead is 6 pounds. So there you go.
My biggest flathead is 3 pounds.
That's okay. I'm 6.
That's my biggest.
That's okay. And what did you start out fishing for?
Well, I'm originally from Southern California, so I get a lot of ocean fishing.
Nice, which is fantastic. I love to fish in the ocean.
Because you never know what you're going to do.
Never know what you're going to pull up. That's right.
Yeah, you catch some big fish.
And so now do you only fish for catfish or do you fish for other things as well?
I try for catfish, but I get bass.
Well, that's not a bad exchange. At least you're catching, right? That's right. And so I hear you got a lot of great plans coming up this year. I hear you're going to travel.
How did you know?
A little birdie told me.
Yeah, I'm from about May 15th. I'm going to travel, go all the way up to D.C., and I'm going to hit everybody I can that wants to fish.
That's incredible. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, everybody, introduce yourself for me.
I'm Catfishing Katie Collins.
Catfishing with Katie Collins. And how long have you been fishing, Katie?
Since I was a kid.
And what did you start catching? What was your first fish you caught?
Well, I caught bluegill first, and then started in catfish.
And then going on up.
Yeah.
So what's your biggest catfish you've ever caught?
I haven't caught any big ones yet. Maybe 5 pounds, maybe.
That's okay.
I'm hunting for one.
That's right. And so what do you have in your waters? Do you have flatties, blues, channels?
I'm out of the Ohio River. So
you got all of that.
And I
Nice.
fished the Lake Barkley and Kentucky Lake. So
Nice.
look at everything.
Nice. So I'm sure that you're going to beat that this year, getting out there and going fishing.
I'm going to try.
Hey, that's all we can do. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
We're at the Catfish Conference. And what is your name, sir? Nice to meet you. And what is your name? Hey, it's so nice to meet you. So do you both like to fish?
Yeah.
So what's your favorite kind of fish to catch? Catfish. What about you? Catfish? Do you like catching any other kinds? Like maybe bluegills or crappies or any of that? So you just like to fish for all kinds of stuff. How long you been fishing? As long as you can remember? That's amazing. So does your dad take you fishing? That's amazing. Well, and so what is your biggest fish you've ever caught? Well, you know what? Awesome. Well, that's a great start. Well, thank you guys for talking to me, and I hope you keep fishing. Okay. Hi there. What's your name? Austin. How old are you, Austin? When will you be 7? March 17th. Well, happy early birthday. So when did you start fishing? As long as you can remember?
Yeah, we were Pay Lake.
Gotcha. And what was your first fish? What kind was it? Okay. It was a crappie? Nice.
this. Have you caught any catfish? Nope, but you're working on it, right? All right. Well, thank you for talking to me. I really appreciate your time. Thanks.
All right. And absolutely, thank you for posting that. Yeah, if any of the mods out there I drop Bobcats and Katie Collins and Fishin' Chick at the very beginning of the stream. But if somebody can go ahead and post those for us, I would very much appreciate it.
And Kaz, I think you did an amazing job. One of the things of a video is to get us to feel something. And man, you brought me right back to Catcon. There it is. There's the golden whiskers. I mean, you got me reliving Catcon all over again. That's an awesome job. That's an awesome job. I really liked that video.
It was fun. It was really fun to do. I was, like I said, it was my first time and I was just trying to get something together because I knew I was going to start the show when I came back to town. So, yeah, I enjoyed talking to everybody. And I wish I could have heard the first set of kids first a little better, but it was so loud where we were that you couldn't really hear what they were saying. But they were so cute. I had to put them on there anyways. They were so cute.
Fishin' Chick says her heart totally sank listening to those kids. And that is,
thank you, Miss Annette, for posting Bobcat. And I just want to give a shout out to Bobcat Outdoors, definitely. He does stickers, shirts, design. He does so many things besides catching huge fish. So if you guys haven't checked out his channel, please do. And you can also find him on Facebook as well. And if you need anything, stickers, shirts, just anything, reach out because he does some amazing work.
And he also does a great job raising kids because his daughter sounds awesome.
Yeah, 80 pounds. Wow. I was like, I hope to be like her one day. I dream of 80 pounds. That's amazing that she's got an 80 pounder already. So yeah, she had to go first because that was just mind blowing. It was fantastic.
And she actually claimed her dad on YouTube too. So, big shout out there.
Hey, I got to say, Bobcat was sitting right next to us at the YouTube booth and his kids were right there supporting him and selling shirts and doing things. And he's got a beautiful family. So yes, absolutely.
Nothing better than that. Nothing better.
Not at all. And Fishin' Chick, I know it's hard to see ourselves on the screen. It is. It's hard for me. It's hard for everybody.
Yeah.
You're absolutely beautiful, and you did fantastic. So thank you for being a part of that. I really appreciate it.
That's right. Fishin' Chick is just awesome and amazing. Got to meet her at Catcon too. Comes running up and boom, big hug. So she's awesome. I love her energy.
That's right. And of course, Miss Katie Collins, we can't forget her. She's fantastic. She's a great part of the catfish community. And I appreciate the time that she gave me as well. So thank you so much. Yeah, I was telling Fishin' Chick that, my PB flathead is 6 pounds. So, I mean, and I fished a lot. So, I mean, I definitely have bigger fish in my waters, but I was tickled to death to catch. I was with Trophy Stickers Outdoors and caught a flathead, and it just absolutely tickled me to death. I loved every pound of that little 6 pound fish, and it could have been an 80 to me, and I would have, I was so thrilled with it. So you got to start somewhere.
That's right. Let me tell you something. Just a couple of years ago, we catfished up in New York, but it was more bullheads and things like that. And we started doing it down here, and we went out a bunch of times, and man, we catch a 15 pounder and think that this is a monster. We finally broke that 20 pound, and we're like, this tattoo was from my painting my daughter made, which is right behind me, of a 22 pound, believe it or not, before we started YouTube, it was a 22 pound catfish. That was the first big catfish that we caught. And now just about every live we catch them at least 30 pounds, 20 pounds. So you know, the more you go out, if the fish are there, you will be able to start. Bob.
Bob was a nut.
You know, we got 330s last night, so it does. You start somewhere and you just keep going, and eventually, you know, you're out there. Your numbers keep going up. It just happens.
Absolutely. You know, and you learn more the more you learn. And we're starting, you know, at the very beginning with the basics, but we are definitely headed towards catfish. And that's, you know, we're part of the catfish community, and we're going to talk about, you know, all the fish, but we're definitely working our way up to catfish. So that'll be where we, not where we end it, but where we end up. And so, but we're just gonna, you know, stick with the little ones right now, and we're gonna worry about all them big old monster fish here soon enough. It's gonna happen. But real quick before we jump off, tell us about those 2 awards that you got at Catcon, Stan. Remind us about those.
Oh well, thank you. Of course, I don't know which one. Well, I do. I know which one I'm more proud of. Obviously, it's Dynamic Duo. We got that one for stand 2 and stand 3. I'm just blessed to be able to get out there every week fishing with my son. So that was the Dynamic Duo Award. That was one of them. The other one was for Fish Fight of the Year for that 2-hour, 22-minute battle with that 222-pound sturgeon. It was such a big battle that it was the Fish Fight of the Year, and I just truly blessed. I couldn't be more honored. I couldn't be more humbled, and I just thanked everybody out there for being part of it all.
Absolutely. It was fun. And, you know, we've talked about people's kids, and I know that Stan 3 is not a kid by any means. He's a very, very handsome grown man, but you have a fantastic son, and he was so warm, and he was so kind, and it was just an absolute pleasure to meet him and get to spend time with him. So
thank you.
Absolutely. So so we went over some basic knots. Like I said, if anybody has any issues or has anything, you know, reach out. I'm more than happy to help, do anything at all. And tonight we don't have anything huge, but we are running out of time here. So I just want to give away. I gave the Catfishing with Cause buttons out at Catcon, and I've still got a few of those left. And so I thought maybe we would give out a couple of those and give a couple people a chance to win. I'll also include a couple stickers with them. And so if anybody that would like to enter this, you're more than welcome to. If you want to enter a number, let's see, how many people do we have in chat, Stan?
We are at 34 still right now.
That's amazing. Thank you, guys. So if I'd say pick a number between between 1 and 50, and let me write it down. Let's see. I'll get a piece of paper here. And go ahead and enter your numbers, and we will go ahead and give the first one away.
Pick one number. The closest to the number without going over is the winner. In case of a tie, it's whoever put it in first. Mm-hmm. And if somebody gets it right away, they get it exactly. First one, they're the winner. So we got Bugman out there saying 22, Don R 37, Brokeback Bob 36, Steve Mosley with the 23. We got Bobcat with the 27, Chick with the 27, McCoo Guy with 18. Team Snag and Whiskers, how you doing? Good to see you. 36. Fishing for Whiskers, 34. It's All Mine, 18. We got a 45 from Kevin Baker. Tanya Hollis with the 19.
Go ahead and re-enter, Michelle, since someone had already picked that number. So you can go ahead and pick another number and put in there.
Oh.
Haven't seen anybody get it. Right on it.
Tanya, can you contact Kaz, because we're going to be doing this show. She plans to keep on going with this. Tanya put out there that Dominic wanted to tell you that they have a few kids polls to donate. So, Tanya, if you could contact Kaz after the show, and she'd be happy to get that worked out. And
Absolutely.
Bobcat, I agree. Kaz is doing a great job.
Thank you, guys. So let's see here. I'm going back and looking. Nobody has landed on this number. Let's see.
From downtown, Ernie Brown, it's from 1 to 50.
Yep.
Thank you, Tanya. Tanya and Dominic, awesome people.
Mm-hmm. They're great. I got to meet them. I just loved meeting them. They were fantastic.
And it's just crazy because every single person you met at Catcon was like, you walked away like, man, they were awesome. Mm-hmm. And then you meet somebody else, man, they were awesome.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. Going down through here.
A big shout outs to Dominic. He threw a plate of catfish on the table, so that's right to my he won me over right then and there.
Absolutely. 222. Jody. All right, guys. About ready to stop. So enter your numbers. Last chance. Okay. Everybody stop. And the winner of this one is going to be Mr. Dominic Collis. He's number 17. The number was 17, and he, let's see, where did his go? There you go. Let's see. He was 16, I think is what he put. So Mr. Dominic Collis won that one. Just email me at catfishingwithcause and at gmail.com, and I'll send it out. Let's go one more time, and then we're going to go ahead and end it. Again, let's do a number between 50 and 100, closest to, but not over. And everybody go.
That's right, Ernie. That's right. And it's like that with a lot of us. Downtown Ernie Brown is, you expect to see people, and when you actually meet them face to face, you expect that people are different, and just about everybody out there was the same as you see is what you get.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
And some even more so.
Yeah. I'm a hugger, so I walked up and you were getting a hug from me whether you wanted it or not. So
well, of course I wanted it. I'm known to wrap my arm around some necks myself.
Yep. I walked up to Epic and he turned around and looked at me, and he looked at me, and I hadn't been on, but a lot. I'd only had 1 or 2 lives, and I hadn't had much. And I told him, of course, he knew who I was by my name, and he said hi, and I said, bring it in, let's go, come on, give me a hug. I gotta hug the professor. I mean, he's the professor. Right. Come on, guys, right. You gotta do it. Jody is still. Jody, look at that. He's not picking the number.
Good guess. That's a good guess, though, Jody. Fishin Chick says, Stan, was I as crazy? Of course, in a great way. Actually, I think you beat it.
Absolutely.
Oh, boy, down Ernie Brown, I'm glad y'all stopped me, because I was just going to keep going, and I did need that break right then and there.
Yeah, so go ahead and pick another one, Kevin. I think Bobcat picked 67 too. So we have a couple of, I don't know who did it first, but let's look.
And the one thing about Catcon, y'all, if you want to get any updates and things on Catcon that's coming up, check out catfishconference.com. I know they're making some upgrades on that. The Kansas City Catcon is coming up, and that's right, Quiet Man. Heard, it was Quiet Man Curtis. He wasn't so quiet. But Catcon Kansas City, the one thing I heard about that one is that there was a lot more events within. So kind of the YouTubers all got to kind of leave as a group and kind of was able to go to certain places as kind of like as a whole group, where at Louisville, it's to get through the parking area, and it's not exactly like a walking destination. Not like you can get out there and just walk to the different restaurants. So that was the only difference, and so I'm trying to get to Catcon Kansas City. We will see.
Yeah, and we've also got Catapalooza that's happening up in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, right up the street from me, and it's coming up as well. So be sure and check that out. And this year, instead of it just being about catfish, they're kind of opening it up for all the different species. And I think that if a bunch of us show up, they're going to be really shocked, that maybe a little disappointed that they ended up changing it and entering everybody else, because catfishing is definitely on the rise. So, all right, everybody, let's go ahead and stop. And Steve Mosley won this one. The number was 73. And I had Bobcat. He was the closest one, but Steve Mosley chose 72, so he got it. You can just email me at catfishingwithcause@gmail.com, and I'll get those sent out tomorrow. But we're going to go ahead and end this. I know we've got the bait shop going on, so everybody go join the bait shop and see what's going on there. I believe that Bex and Stevie are still fishing, so if you want some live fishing, you can definitely go over to No Real Loss and check them out. They've got a great fishing show. And
there's some live fishing going on later tonight, I think, somewhere.
Oh, yeah. And Pontoon Jody has the first week of her Flathead Challenge starting this week. So it's going to be amazing. Tonight I'm not going. I've got to go back to work tomorrow. So I'm going to stay home and be a good grown-up and get some rest. But definitely I'll be back out there with her next Thursday, weather permitting.
Well, that's awesome. And, if only there was this guy that likes hosting and doing things was on that show tonight, maybe it might be pretty cool. You never know what you're going to see.
Yeah. All right. So you're hosting tonight, huh, Stan?
Good possibility of it.
Hey, you're the best as far as I'm concerned.
Oh,
all right, everybody. Dallas and everybody. The email is going to be catfishingwithcause@gmail.com. So we're going to go ahead and end it here. Check out Stan later tonight on Pontoon Jody's. That starts at 10 o'clock. Her show always starts at 10. We're going to go ahead and jump off. But everybody have a great night. Thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.